podcast. What's going on this time? They finally allowed me to do what I always wanted to do right now. Every time I go down this damn rabbit hole, Mark and Tank always stop me. Every time. Or they want to end the show early. But it ends today.
He's finally going to talk about being black in Chicago, y'all.
Yes. Speaking of black in Chicago, we're going to talk about conspiracies. And this is your co-host D'Angelo with Tank, Mark. This is Incompetent Nerds, and let's do it.
Let's go. All right. So as D said, conspiracies. Ooh. So I've been actually wanting to talk about this for a while because it's not really political or religious, even though some of it can get into that area, but it's fun. Conspiracies are always fun to talk about. Like, what got me into this was, what got me thinking about doing conspiracies was, I was editing our episodes, and we were talking about Khloe Kardashian and how D came up with a conspiracy, and we straight up just like, no, shit came out. That's not true. He's like, damn it. And when I was listening and editing, I was like, wait a minute. We never had a show on conspiracy theories. Let's fucking do it.
Right, I'm down.
Let's deep dive.
All right. So, all right, gents. Let's kick it off with D, since you like starting shit. Let's kick it off with you and your conspiracy theory that you said you had a couple interesting ones.
Yeah, all right. So, of course, it's all bullshit. Well, I feel like it's bullshit, but I could be wrong. But there was a conspiracy going around that Trump's family are actually time travelers.
Ooh.
This is gonna be fun.
Let's go.
What's the So what's the story here?
All right. So the story is that I believe his like great granddad discovered time traveling, and that family they pretty much been using it as an opportunity to to establish power throughout time. And people make the argument that his dad pretty much came out of nowhere with real estate, and Trump was able to become president without any experience, which is unheard of in America. So, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that his family's full of time travelers and they're just forcing their way into what's going on in current times?
All right, so here's my thing. The key to any conspiracy is you have to break it down and ask yourself the most obvious questions. Is the family smart enough to keep a secret like that for that long? I'm just asking platonically, right? I'm not judging. I'm not picking a side. Like his daughter married like Jared Kushner, like the guy who like his father went to jail. They're like basically slumlords, and like he's gonna keep a secret like that. I don't know, man.
I would say it's full of shit. But keep going.
No, but it could. Well, what do y'all think about time traveling? Anyway, because I actually think that it could be quite possible. But what are y'all thoughts just on time travel and pop? Well, just period, and then we'll probably go from there, and then I'll make my case after that.
I heard many theories and just ideas of time travel and how it is possible. Like people see time as a river flowing. If you could travel down the river, well, you could also travel up the river upstream. So that's the idea of time travel. For me, what was it that I think for time travel, I think Einstein had it best, which was to travel through time, you got to travel through space.
Right.
So, Mark's the mathematic here, so he'll be able to get some numbers going. But the faster you travel, like, what was it? They had a theory where if they had a supersonic train on Earth that was uninterrupted, that it was traveling at this, like, at least close to the speed of light, time would travel slower on the train versus throughout the world. And by the time people get off the train, for them, they say it's 2020, but for the world, it was like 2025, 2030, 2040, whatever they want to jump to.
Right.
So the ideal of that was the faster you go, time slows down for you, but for everybody else, it's just normal.
Right. Or also, time is different when you're outside of Earth. You know, if you're out in space, the time is going to be way different. So it could be times where
it depends on the traveling.
Right. If you travel to maybe Pluto, or which is not really a planet, but if you travel there and back, you might notice some differences between people. You might either be older or younger than everybody else that you once knew.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, right now, as people, we are technically time traveling now because we're in the present moment, but we're also moving into the future. But the only difference with time travel is that you can move instantaneously. Right. It's just like what's real is what's real. We are in the present and we are moving slowly into the future.
That's time.
So the bait here, little facts. The Ingersoll Lockwood books are real, where this conspiracy came from, and you can read them for free on the Library of Congress website. But nobody heard of them when they came out. They all flopped. And reviews hated them. And the conspiracy was essentially that someone was going to rise to power to be president of the United States in a very quick fashion, like Dee said, eventually leading out to like an all-out civil war that would destroy the country. And so the second like question I have is like, it's all like conspiracy theories are all rooted in like the conclusion hasn't happened yet, right? Like there's always like more to come.
Yeah.
And like, do I think that that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that like you can the more time goes on, the more dots we can connect? Yes. However, it also feels self-fulfilling in the sense that like you read it and it's like a horoscope. You're like, yeah, that's totally me. Like 100% that's me. You mean you're a Virgo too? Oh my God. But since you guys were talking about time travel and space, here's one for you, D. You know, we have our astrological signs, right? And it's based on the time, the place in your birth, and you know, it generally, you know, again, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it does help explain things to some extent, right?
Right.
What if we eventually get to travel on Mars? Are you still going to have the same astrological signs if you're born on a different planet?
Well, I actually know the answer to that. Yeah, your astrological signs would be different because it's really all according to where you're at that given moment.
Right, but Mars has a different year. So, like, would they be adjusted to, like, the different year about how long it takes Mars to travel around the sun? Or do we expand them? Is there another one?
I guess somebody will have to do the math because we got our 2000.
Math. This is the stars. It's already written.
No, but here's what I was about to say was that so we get our time from 2020 from the day that Christ died. And then from that point we count it. So if we recount it from that time on to then, the numbers would be different. If you take on that it's like an extra year or less or whatever. I don't know how it is on Mars, but if you calculate that shit, you can figure that shit out.
So I'm going to go ahead and say this. The reason why we use Gregorian is the fact that most of the world does. But the fact that nobody knows exactly when we started to tick, because Christ didn't die 0 AD. He was born before AD and died 30 years after AD.
Right. So
when they were trying to pinpoint the time to restart the timeline in the year of our Lord, that's the right reason why we get AD. Anno Dominion, I think.
After death, I thought.
After death, or also the year of our Lord. Beforehand, when people used to count time, was like similar to like whoever was emperor or king or whatever. People count of time differently than what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
So people had months. People had a month, like a whole year, and they were kind of accurate to what we have now. But the whole AD stuff, some people believe that we're actually either farther ahead or behind 2020. Like the current year is really not 2020, all because there were some errors made when adjusting calendars and changing a year.
Right.
And I think the Gregorian calendar and time frame was created think it was like 15 something.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It was a weird number. So yeah. That's also the theory and also my conspiracy that the Middle Ages never happened and that they never existed.
The whole
Wait,
Middle Ages?
like knights and shit.
Yeah, the whole era of the Middle Ages or the medieval age, there's a conspiracy that it never happened. And that, so what spawned the Middle Ages or the medieval age was after the fall of Rome. If Rome never fell, the Middle Ages would never happen. And the medieval age. And the reason why they called it the medieval age is because during that time, there was no improvement in just human ingenuity, anything. Nothing happened other than wars and conflicts. Other than warlords and kings fighting each other. And it's funny how you say time travel because look how we're going now. Going through time.
Yeah, we're going down time. Now we need to get to dinosaurs after this, but go ahead, keep going.
Dinosaurs never existed. They were placed there by the devil. Okay, let's go back. If people know where that's from, it's from a porno.
Oh my
god. So throughout the Middle Age, Rome fell, caused this whole dark. That's where they got the Dark Ages or the medieval age. All you had was war and conflicts. But the theory goes, or the conspiracy goes, that it never happened, and that there was a certain pope at the time who wanted in advance some years, so that way his rule or his, I don't even know what a pope does. I don't even know what you call when a pope is sitting on, you know.
So he's the head of the Catholic Church, and essentially back then, Catholic the Vatican.
He's pretty much God on earth, really.
Yeah,
he had so much power.
They called it like the connection between like whatever is after, right, or like celestials and humans, essentially.
Right.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. So basically, he wanted, I guess, the year to be around what he wanted, so that humanity actually skipped a couple centuries. And that's what we had, a certain weird year. So that's what they were saying, like the Middle Ages never happened, the Dark Ages weren't real, and some people are even saying the fact that the medieval age where nothing happened, nobody was inventing shit, nobody was progressing, was actually bullshit. Even throughout that time, it was slow, but there was still progress. The only time we got a boom was, of course, and Mark, shout out to your people, the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Yo.
It went back to it went right back to Rome. The Romans, just basically all of Italy just brought it back with the Renaissance and then pushed it all throughout Europe and parts of the world. And where now we got to we should stop thinking like this. It was a rebirth of thinking. It was a rebirth of to think like the Romans and to think like the Greeks, to be more philosophical, get into medical, banking. Just all these types of things. It was all due to the Renaissance, and that's why there was a lot of rich families in Italy, and it started trickling throughout all of Europe. The Black Plague was over, and so forth.
So it's interesting that you brought that up because what I'm learning about the Roman Empire, what I know about the Roman Empire, is that it goes from like if we're on BC calendar, or the normal calendar, it goes from like negative like 500 to like positive 500. So around like 1,000 years, there's like fights and they break up and they lose, a lot of the
Rome,
Spain and the other parts of Europe.
Rome fell a couple times.
Yeah, what's interesting is that when the Gothic people, so to speak, when they came to Rome, and then they eventually left because of the Huns after a few hundred years, they thought that they were going to be chased, and they thought essentially that they were going to have another civil war. They were going to be nomadic people, just like, move, fight. But nobody went after them, and they just sort of, you have like Gothic culture that exists in like England and Ireland and things like that, and northern parts of the tip of Europe, like northern Germany, and like it looks like France according to this map, but like Norway and like Czechoslovakia and Prague, different regions that the Gothic culture spread to, and they were never persecuted, or like they didn't like the Roman people were just like recovering, so they weren't like, oh, let's go get them and bring them back. And the people from the Eastern Empire, the Byzantine Empire, were like, yeah, we got Rome, like we're chilling,
Yeah.
So like, to me, that it doesn't seem like it's impossible.
Yeah, and
But-
I also go ahead.
Go ahead. Go. It's like a lot of history to fake, but go ahead, D.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. And also, how does the Moors connect to all of this? Because
The Moors?
yeah, because I know that they helped establish, Spain as well. But you're the historian, so I just kind of want to know, because I heard that they also had an influence on the development of Europe.
They did. So one of the major things that a lot of people don't really know about the Moors is that, one, they actually invented soap. Two, they're the ones who created the 3-course meal.
Yeah.
Now these are some things, some small things, cool things that people probably didn't know about the Moors. But the Moors also, if I'm not mistaken, they brought the number 0.
Not true. Not true.
I know if it wasn't the Moors, it was some Muslim.
Yes, it did not. The most important thing, if you're going to take away from something, well, okay, sorry, back up. I know math. I got math. So Aristotle claimed that there's a concept of 0.
Yeah.
He didn't have the word in his tongue as 0, but the first was actually Mesopotamians and Egyptians in irrigation, because they were one of the first people to use fractions. And essentially, if you take one whole whatever and you cut it in half for forever, you're never going to get to 0. And that's something that they knew, but they couldn't really they didn't have a scientific explanation for it. But it never got it never got shared. They just sort of like adopted it as like truth. So
we are really getting into some shit.
There's no symbol. So like in hieroglyphics, for example, there's 1 and there's no symbol for 0, but there's a symbol for like absence.
So this is the interesting thing.
Oh shit.
This whole thing was supposed to be about conspiracy. Now we're going to history. Oh, well, fuck it. We're taking it to history.
It's part of the timeline.
It is part of the timeline.
You want a bomb? Here's a bomb right now. Same topic, right? Aristotle and not Aristotle, sorry. Pythagoras, Pythagorean theorem.
Yep.
From the Greeks, was killed, and theory is that she may have been female.
Oh shit!
What?
The greatest mathematician to ever come out of, arguably, I'll throw arguably in there, to come out of Greece was female, and that's why she was persecuted, because they didn't want somebody who was smarter than them, essentially being female.
A woman being smarter than a man, especially back in the time.
There was also a woman that discovered like the binary code and stuff like that too. But that was just random fact that just kind of just went in my fucking head. So yeah. Fuck, this is getting good right now.
If I'm not mistaken,
or maybe none of it existed.
Oh man.
Maybe Earth started. I don't know. Who's the oldest out of us? 31 years ago?
Last week.
You are the oldest of us.
All right, so maybe the Earth fucking existed 31 years ago.
Or maybe every time we go to sleep and we wake up, the Earth resets, and it's never a billion. It's always whatever your concept of it is.
Boom.
Crazy. And we're on the same page. We're all on the same page.
Yep.
Right. But I guess we need to move off of time traveling, even though we went through some shit right now.
I'm trying to find the Greek philosopher who was in conspiracy with murdering Alexander the Great.
It was Trump. Boom.
He couldn't do it.
You see how we went full circle?
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you have another one?
No, I'm actually going to let you take it. I have many more, but, Mark, before we actually started the episode, you named like 17 of them. So go ahead. Take it from there.
Jeez. Let's do it.
17 of them. Well, I mean, I do like to live in the here and the now. So we'll change it up. Let's talk about the ones that are recent. You have the 9/11 conspiracy. Obviously, that it was an inside job into going after the weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East, which I'm a little hesitant of because like America was getting hella oil from OPEC and like the Middle East, so I don't understand why we would like want to shoot ourselves in the foot. But like if you also look at why the electric car failed, it kind of makes sense because like if we would invest it in renewable energy, then people wouldn't need to buy a car. People wouldn't need to get their oil changed, and people wouldn't need to buy gas or do anything, half of the things that they do with their cars now. So,
no, what's funny?
Yeah.
So I want to elab on this, on the electric car thing. When I was young in the early 2000s, I remember seeing electric cars around, and then after several years, I stopped seeing them. And I'll never forget one time I was riding my father. My father goes, "You see that car? Yeah. You see how the wheel is like halfway covered?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you call a skirt." I was like, "Oh, why is it there? It's kind of annoying for to get your tire if you need to fix your tire." He goes, "Because that's an electric car. It's for aerodynamics, so you get less drag because electric cars can't go as far as gas." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Boom. Never seen these motherfuckers again.
Wow.
Never.
There's a good documentary on Amazon about who killed the electric car because GM actually made one. They did make one in the early 2000s. It went about 200 miles. I mean, even in Los Angeles, that's like everybody's commute to work and back in a day, you know, even if you have to run some errands.
Exactly.
But the reason, essentially, there's like a lot of reasons it failed, but nobody wanted to lose money. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff is based off of money, you know.
Of course,
especially in America.
A lot of these. How about the conspiracy theory that came out true? The Contra thing where America, the whole theory was American government was flooding black neighborhoods with drugs, taking their money, giving it to some rebels, I think in Nicaragua or some fucking South American country, to buy weapons. To buy weapons from, I think, the Iranians or...
Yeah. That was it.
You got it.
Yeah. I'm pretty glad I did hit it. But it's really like, that was... Can you imagine, like, being back and hearing that from your friend? Like, bro, that's bullshit. No, that's true. A few years later, documents comes out. You're just like, bro, he was right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. In Iran, it's called the McFarlane Affair. But the irony is that... President Ronald Reagan went on his address and said we need to fight drugs with his wife Nancy and started DARE, which was like a program to make people do less drugs when you're like literally flooding them into like the poorest neighborhoods, which is
and started that whole war on drugs thing.
All in the name of preventing communism, right? We can't have anybody that's not capitalist in the world because that's rude.
Right.
God bless
good old America.
Capitalism.
I feel like we've never had like a good rep. It's all
we
like
don't have a good rep.
No,
it's all like ego. It's all just ego. I don't know how we've done it for this long.
Shit, I know, right? And I think like people nowadays are trying to have to make the U.S. have a good rep, like for the first time, like in history, first time ever. If American goes to another country, they're not targeted because the shit that their country has done. It's like they're trying to change shit around, but it's just like, hey, people flat fall on their faces.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, what can we do? We got a boomer in office. We got another boomer fighting him. Mitch McConnell always looks like he always needs his diaper change.
Right.
I'm not trying to get political right now, but half the time when I look at Congress, I just laugh. But man, they have the best fucking conspiracy theories. Because they're like so entertaining. Like, man, that is like too much to be real or too much to be true. And then What happens? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years later, shit pops out and it's like, oh crap. MK Ultra was one of them. That's how we got that fucking bomb ass show, Stranger Things, all because they use a conspiracy that the government, CIA was drugging people up, putting, what was it, heroin, acid, all types of shit, mind control, creating sleeper agents, and Stranger Things took that and made this cool ass show. And back in the day, people didn't believe, that's true, that the government would do such a thing. And MK Ultra comes out and bam. Especially, what was another one? Project Blue Book. You guys heard of that one?
No,
Yeah,
Homecoming
but
on
for the
Amazon
viewers,
is the same show too. It's like a sedation for like military people that went through PTSD to make them like good soldiers again, essentially.
Yeah, repurpose. Or also to what was the other one? To make soldiers more just make soldiers follow orders.
yeah, make them compliant.
There you go. Couldn't even get the word. Make them more compliant, even if the fucking order was basically against human rights. The soldier would not question it. So to them, the perfect soldier. Everybody thinks of a super soldier as like, when people think super soldiers or the perfect soldier, they think of Captain America, shit like that. Serums, buff, strong, blah, blah. No, they want somebody that will not talk back.
They want somebody that's compliant.
That doesn't ask questions.
Yep.
Do you know that's true? Like there's a limit to like when you join the military. Like you can't just like even if you walked into a recruiter like right now, tomorrow, they're gonna be like, how old are you? And they're gonna like give you a hard time about that because they don't want some like 31-year-old who like knows about the world. They want literally like someone
fresh,
who's like fresh and able to be manipulated.
Right.
18 years old, don't know really much about the world, but will tell you like you could visit the world and then fucking break you in basic training. And if you're trying to be a SEAL, even that one's even, I heard, is fucking even rough.
Yeah, talking about Hell Week and shit like that.
Maximum age is 35, so you can't join. A 36-year-old cannot join the military.
Yeah, it's actually what is it? 17 to 35, and 17 is basically if you're coming close, I think, before you graduate, whatever, from basic.
17 with parental consent, 18 without.
Yeah, 17 with parents, but also I think when you graduate, you got to be around 18, so you got to be close to your 18 years of age.
Right.
Yeah, but let's tap into this for a second because the super soldier is essentially, like we said, not like the Captain America person that's super strong and everything.
No,
it's just the person that's the most compliant.
Exactly, and that's where MK Ultra came in, because MK Ultra wasn't just creating sleeper. It was a bunch of shit. It was a bunch of shit about
today.
So you had sleeper cells. So their goal was to create sleeper agents. Mind control, try to find, even using try to see if there's actual proof, telepathy, remote viewing, if human beings had that ability, and if they did, is there drugs or anything that we could do to help heighten those senses? Thus the use of certain drugs like acid and a couple others. We already knew about, Germany and their use, I think, of meth on their soldiers, just like to boost their freaking focus,
boost everything damn near.
Their pain, boost their focus, lower the pain threshold. Like, can you imagine a Russian soldier fucking fighting off a platoon of methed up fucking Germans? I think I'd be pretty fucking scared.
Yeah,
I keep shooting them and they won't go down.
Hours at a time, right? And they're probably up 72 hours. At a time, just fucking fighting nonstop. Like, fuck.
Well, I don't want to go into World War II, but just to say, that Eastern Front was by far the worst. So by saying by 72 hours, both sides were struggling the most. So back to MK Ultra. It was also technology, the use of certain technology. I think electroshock therapy, a whole bunch of shit on people, even on soldiers, as Mark was saying, to help cure PTSD and get them back into the field and go fighting. Especially if it's like, damn, D'Angelo's like by far best fucking soldier we have. Fucking gold marks on everything. He kicks ass. He does what he's told. But now he's suffering from PTSD, and he shot up a whole fucking garrison, and now we don't know what the fuck to do. Well, they take you because of your rap sheet and everything that you did. They try to fucking heal you, and next thing you know, they just made you worse. And I think because of that, around that same time of MK Ultra was also mental facilities that started to close down, and there was a bunch of people who became homeless. People who didn't have family, mental patients who didn't have families, so they became homeless. Then you had veteran soldiers coming from Korea and also Vietnam who just fucking lost their shit with PTSD. Many of them became homeless, and it just kind of just going up, and it was like, really?
Yeah.
And it's like Mark said earlier, all in the name to fight communism.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Agent Orange in the Vietnam War too.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
Literally, like same script that you said. Like, people came back, had PTSD, had birth defects, got cancer, and send them to the Veterans Affairs Office and cover it up.
Right.
Leukemia, lymphoma.
Yeah, but before we get into that, we got to pay some bills, y'all. So, Mark, can you let us know about our, tell the word about our sponsor.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mark from Incompetent Nerds. We have our first sponsor. Shop Valerio is a online watch and sunglasses brand for men and women. And if you go to shopvalerio.com and use our code MARK.25, you get 25% off your purchase. That's SHOPVALERIO.com. And use the code MARK.25 for 25% off. Thanks for listening.
All right, and we back. All right, so back to what you were saying, Mark. Sorry for cutting you off. Well, you cutting yourself off technically.
The power of show business. No, it's funny because like these are more so conspiracies and more so just like it's when you get older. You learn like things that your government has done over time, but by the time you learn about it, you're either old enough to be like, oh no, like, I can't care about this anymore. I can't go protest, or I can't go do this, or everybody's gone and when it comes out, so it's like there's no one to fight for those people that still need help.
Yeah,
right.
It's all about control.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at pretty much, now that I'm starting to really just, like, think about this right now, a lot of shit that we do and that we fight for is really somebody on one end trying to fight for control or fight for compliance for other people.
But if you look at it, no matter in what situation, no matter in what fight it is, it's whoever side you're on, both sides believe their version of control is the best.
Is better, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy.
And it's like that throughout history. Like, throughout the world's history of all conflicts, it was over territory, resources. Hell, we got that one love story of Troy, a war that was fought over love. Well, somebody just stole somebody else's wife. So yeah, but as you progress through time, it was just like a lot of wars have been fought over just that territories, resources,
religion, resources.
Yeah, religion, all types of stuff. And if you look in the past, like, what do you mean by resources or territories? Well, the more territories you grab, the more resources you have for your kingdom or empire or nation. Especially one of the top resources is food and water. How you gonna run an empire without it?
Yeah, and two things that LA don't have.
They have plenty of food. That I guarantee.
Sorry, I had to take
we steal our water, thank you very much, from Northern California. It's a $28,000 fine if you jump in the LA County land up there.
Damn.
You put a toe in that river, homie, you're getting fined and a year sentence.
Damn, that's fucked up.
I was just checking the temperature.
Oh shit.
But as time progressed, that's when resources started to change to other things like uranium becoming one for nuclear power plants and weapons, coal for not just powering, steam engines or whatever, but electricity, oil being number one, generating, cars, electricity, and all types of other stuff that everybody needs. So as time progresses, these resources are becoming more and more precious. They're being fought over now, and it's funny. I was just watching a video when you sent me and Mark that video about the stock market, and I would love to have an episode on that video alone. There was another video about water and the water crisis coming up in the next fucking 20, 30 years. So to me, that's an episode in itself that we gotta get into. But even water, people think, oh, water, it comes out of my bathroom, it's fine, or it comes out of my kitchen sink. But it's like, do you not know the process for that to happen?
Right.
Water, yes, it is, what you call it? It is a great...
it's not a renewable resource.
It is a renewable resource, but it takes forever. Water is considered a renewable resource. But the process of it, from becoming salt to fresh, takes forever.
A lot of energy.
And we are going through fresh water faster than we are anything else. So we have the oil crisis that's coming up in the next 10 years. That's why I see Tesla going to make a killing. That's why we're going to go back to how Mark said about how they killed the electric car. A lot of these oil companies and a lot of these car manufacturers, you're going to see more and more electric cars. Why? That's going to sell. You're going to see more and more Shells and BPs and all these other stations turn into electrical stations and charging people to charge their car for a half hour or for an hour or whatever. All because...
Or you get a high frequency one, it does it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. All because oil's running out. And these companies need to rethink their whole process. Yeah. 20 years ago when they killed the electric car, so now it was like, oh, we won and we're going to keep oil forever. And now there's already the oil crisis coming up in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at getting a car anytime soon, anybody, look into a Tesla.
Or you could walk, take the bike, take the train,
Yeah.
You
walk,
could do it
bike,
that way
you could do all that stuff, but look into a Tesla. Hell, for all you country folks, they got lifted pickup trucks. You can pick that up too.
Yo, that Cybertruck. That shit is incredible.
I know. I just know one day when electric cars become a thing, they're going to be pickup trucks. Somebody's going to ride around in a lifted Cybertruck and I'm going to fucking lose it.
Right.
I'm just going to lose it.
Gotta carry your stuff, man.
Yeah.
Now you just showed the whole world. You just got not that you just got a tiny peepee because you're in a fucking lifted pickup truck, but now you got even a smaller one because you're in a lifted cyber pickup truck. Energy efficient. Right.
My second truck is gonna be electric.
Nice.
But the problem is, there's also, like, on the other hand, there's, like, studies about the minerals you need for the batteries for these things cause more damage to the environment getting them out of the ground than if you were to drive, like, a gas guzzling Chevy for, like, 70 years.
Yeah. So the thing is, they're still using lithium ion because that is considered right now the best battery, but works on a solid state battery, which is graphite. They're still working on that. I was watching something about that a while ago on graphite batteries and that becoming the future, and it being solid state, which means in lithium ion you have fluids in there that is moving the electrical currents, where on a solid state it's just like hard drives, there's no moving parts, so there's no liquid moving whatever. It just goes, and that it holds a higher charge and it could output whatever you want to output. Thus, if we hit to the state where they can build just a big battery for your car to travel, where it's one, environmental friendly, and two, great on mileage, that's when we're going to see a boom in electric cars.
Or this is just me thinking about this, me being an incompetent ass nerd, but what if we actually had like one power source within the city, and within that power source, it also contributes to moving the motor vehicles and stuff like that throughout the entire city. And I guess the energy could be dispersed the same way that that Wi-Fi could be dispersed. Even
Right.
though
So
All right,
it's so
Tesla,
far
calm
away
down.
from that.
Nikolai
Thanks to our
Tesla talking
good,
about wireless energy.
thanks to our good friend Cody. Shout out to Cody. He was telling me about the National Renewable Energy Lab in Colorado, and how it's very easy to create renewable energy, with solar and wind and things like that. And eventually, we might get to the point where, let's say there's a solar panel on every house or every apartment building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But to give that energy back to the grid, we would need to, do a lot of, you would need to change the whole infrastructure, because it's essentially a one-way grid. It's not necessarily a two-way grid. But the thing that can help that, D, is people's driving. Let's say, for example, you got your Tesla, right? You get home, you charge it 250 miles, right? And you go into work is 10 miles away. You drive your car to work, you got 240 miles left. You're only going back home before you charge it at the end of the day, Right. So let's say you plug your Tesla into the grid. It takes half of your battery, right? 75%. You get some sort of compensation or, some benefit from that. And at the end of the day, you just go home and you charge your car again in your renewable source, and you gave energy back to the grid.
Ah.
Yeah. So but again, infrastructure to do that.
That'll be really expensive too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it's better than, changing the whole electric grid that already exists.
All right.
So here's one thing that Tesla's been working on was, I don't know if you've seen this, D, but they have these batteries. I think they use the same batteries in their cars to create these battery stations for areas that have been affected. There's the idea of having these stations. So if we're ever to go off the grid and go straight renewable energy, we need something like this, a station in where when the sun sets, all that energy that just left with the sun, where's it going to go? We could use the energy that the sun is already out, where everybody's using the energy, street lights, homes, whatever. Cool, but what about everything that's being stored?
Right.
So the idea was these batteries will be the ones to help, huge enough batteries to contain to hold all this energy. So when night comes and you switch off on the street lights and traffic lights are, they're 24/7, you got storefront, everything, then that's when the energy and just the cycle repeats. And it's all about making stuff cheap. It's got to be cheap. You got to be cheap to build. You got to be cheap and both profitable. If it ain't cheap and profitable, nobody's gonna invest into it. So the idea of like Mark saying, plugged in the Tesla, maybe you use like a quarter or half of your battery. So when you go back home, you still got enough juice in your vehicle to go back home, charge it up there. Hell, even have maybe a solar panel that charges your car, so you're not even using your own energy. And Tesla has that as well. Tesla roofing, I think it's called, where you can literally install solar panel and a battery. You can install that into your home, and where it just sucks up all the solar energy, stores it in a battery. If your house is not using it, once that battery is stored, you could charge your vehicle, power some stuff in your home, small things here and there, and that's gonna be the future.
Hey, D, if you live in California, you get a rebate if you install them in your home.
Oh shit! Well, shout out to y'all for that. That's definitely a good plus. I'll give y'all that.
What's pretty crazy about Cali is like they're pretty liberal, like they're pretty green, but man, the air quality is crap.
Yeah, but since doesn't it clear up since the quarantine?
I was about to say that.
It has really cleared up. Don't ever let media tell you it wasn't helpful, because it was definitely better. I mean, just running outside. It used to be, there were places in LA where like I couldn't run. Like Tank and I hiked the Hollywood sign in the heart of Hollywood, and it's like even if you're in good shape, it's the smog is going to affect you like to some degree.
Yeah.
But I mean, recently it's been great.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big guy. I don't go hiking, and I think Mark wanted to punch me several times because I was complaining a couple times. Like I was like, my legs, my back, my stomach, I can't breathe, my throat's dry. Fuck. And I know Mark was just like, if this guy don't shut up. But I finally made it to the top. I gave myself some, pat in the back, gave myself some props, and took a picture. And it's crazy. I'm like, man, I'm like, wow, those are some crazy looking clouds. And Mark's like, no, bro, that's smog. I was like, ooh. But they do have one thing I see that a lot of them are combating the smog and the climate is they do have a crap ton of trees along the highways, like on every freaking corner, along homes and beaches and apartments, even rooftop gardens. It's just like they're really trying to fight the pollution over there. Oh, wow. And one way to clean the pollution is with trees, plants. Yeah. They eat up CO2.
We try our best.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
I have a political. I mean, not a political, but like a.
Let's do it.
I'm on your. This is like semi-history, like. What do you guys think? So, a lot of statues of Confederate generals and Confederate leaders are being taken down in the South, because of the times we live in. Now, there's two stances. One's on history, and others on, whatever. If you believe these monuments have values societally, but I just want to know what you guys think. Should they keep them up, or should we get rid of them? Because I think that visual history is important, even when people have lost, or like, it doesn't have to represent something negative if you don't let it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I guess I'll kick this off. For me, I'm in between the fence because I kind of see the case for both sides. So some people, that is their history because, they grown up they have family members that was a part of that war, and they just kind of want to keep that thing going. Right. Also, there are also black people that also, that kind of look up to that flag as well because it represents something to them, and, their families fighting in wars and
they lived in.
Right. So it's really tough to call, If I was the dictator of America, I don't know. I probably would have let it go. I probably would just let that shit up and just try to educate more people about it, but non-objective, just tell what the real situation is, how it relates to America and the Confederate flag, and just let that shit go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you want, you can take Robert E. Lee down, but don't take Traveler or the horse. I mean, he didn't do anything.
Right.
Just leave the horse up there.
Right, but I feel like if you take one down, then you have to take all down. That's just my rule. Right. If one got to go, all of it has to go.
Yeah.
So it's like we either accept it and not be cool with some people that are a part of the Confederacy, or we just eliminate all of it altogether. But yeah, that's my opinion. Tank, what do you think about that?
I really don't care. I could give two craps.
For content, what do you think?
For content,
really? Like not even the history aspect?
Here's the thing. I learned my history through books and educational videos. I did not learn it by looking at a damn statue. If I read the little plaque about Robert E. Lee and I was interested, I'll read a book. Or watch a historically accurate video on said person. But to be honest, you learn a lot of this through history by reading and watching. You don't look at a statue. It's there for art. Yeah. And I understand there's a lot of statues throughout history always have symbolism. There's always symbolism with a statue. But to be honest, I could care less. They could knock it down. They could live. They could use it up. It's an important part of American history. That's for sure. Yeah, right. He fought for the Confederate sides, which were the rebels. He led the rebels. But to be honest, I could care less if they leave him up or take him down.
All right.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Mark? You think, all right, if you was the president, what would you do? Would you keep it up, keep it down? What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I mean, if it makes people like, I get what Tank's saying. You should definitely, if you see something that you're interested in, you should investigate it yourself. But I think for some people, they don't have those things to look up to. You know, if it's not, I'm not saying like Robert E. Lee was like the greatest guy, but like he, you know, you don't you don't know what was like going through his head in battle. You don't know what, he was fighting for, if it was really states' rights, if it was really slavery.
Right.
There's like a lot to unpack there. And
Mm-hmm.
if he meant something to the people of Virginia in that time and that place and in that land, then, I don't have a basis to say like take it down or keep it up.
Yeah.
But again, also like shout out to the horse, because like Traveler was like 16 hands. You had to carry that guy all around. So like, don't forget Traveler. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. Shout out to the horse, holding it down. But yeah, I would just fucking, like I said, it's either one is cool or none is cool, and that would just be my general rule for it.
If that's the case, then DC gonna be empty. I just want to add one more thing before we close out, which is, I don't know if you guys ever notice, but if any of you guys go to DC or just looked at pictures and videos, if you notice a lot of the monuments and the memorials, they're all very like
godlike.
Yes. Yeah. It's because we have a God complex, but go ahead.
No, if you look at it, it's like when we look at historical figures, Lincoln, Jefferson, the Washington monument, it's just like when you look at the things, we have a giant obelisk as a memorial for George Washington. Right. We have a huge, like, it's close to a Pantheon with a huge building with Lincoln in it, and it was just it just brought up a lot of these figures to like God status.
Right.
Build Mount Rushmore on Indian land, but whatever. I just work here.
Right.
Can't forget that. That one, it was supposed to be full figures, and all they could do when they ran out of money was just their faces. They didn't even finish. Who did they didn't finish face? Wasn't it Roosevelt or somebody? They didn't finish his face. They got a good portion of it. That was it. But yeah, the whole I think it was supposed to be the bus up. It was supposed to be that whole mountain was just those 4 presidents, and I think they were supposed to be adding more. But yeah, I really feel like America probably does have a God complex. Ever since we became a superpower during World War II, it's just like we rule the fucking world.
Yeah.
If the incompetent nerds ever get statues, I want mine to be exactly my height and 1-to-1 ratio. I want to be my 5'8" short ass, and I want the statue to be good for the environment. Just so it's on the record. I want you guys to hear it here first.
I want mine toxic for the environment. Make my shit out of fucking plutonium or some shit.
Am I the only ones that just want stone or just clay, but have my chubby face on Arnold Schwarzenegger's body when he was like
super basic?
Like I want 25-year-old Arnold's body, but my face on top, like my head just on top of that body, and be like, this is how he looked. This is him. This was him in his prime.
No wonder you like use books and videos, because like you want to lie with your statues.
Right. Right.
Exactly. You want to BS.
Yeah, but dude, it's 2020. We don't make stone statues anymore. It gotta be something cool. It gotta be either just basic like metal, or you could have mine, which is kind of like nuclear, plutonium infused type shit. Because that's what I want.
But you know what lasts as long?
What?
Stone.
Who cares?
Why do you think Mount Rushmore is probably like a century old, but look at the stones in freaking Europe, Britain, Stonehenge, and then also I can't believe I keep forgetting these places.
It had stone in the word.
Yeah, Stonehenge.
Right.
The pyramids of Giza. Hell, the Colosseum, all made out of stone and marble and all this things that will last centuries.
Stone and marble is different. I just want to throw that out there too.
That burp was for you.
But if my stone is made out of like plutonium or like
it's gonna die
really,
out
like,
within a century.
No, what's gonna really happen is I'm going to create a whole new culture of people with like 4 arms and stuff like that. You know, so
Children of Adam fall off.
I'm out here being revolutionary, while you out here just being basic.
I'm gonna last forever. Countless generations will be like, who is this magnificent God with the bearded face, the chubby bearded face, and the huge muscular body of a god? Who is that?
They're gonna look at me, and they're gonna be like,
they're gonna look at you and like, that's the devil.
All because of him that we got 4 arms.
That's the devil. You go there within 24 hours, you're gonna die. Don't go to that guy.
Didn't you just got done talking about how we shouldn't have a god complex?
Too late. We're having it. We're human.
We're just human. In America, that's just what we have. I feel like it's embedded. I feel like it's like apple pie. God plus an apple pie is like super American.
Baseball and apple pie. The God complex
baseball,
is in there.
God complex, yep. And apple pie and popcorn. I don't know.
I don't think popcorn. Is it American?
Or hot dogs. There we go. Like
hot dogs, German.
Oh well, either I don't know, barbecue. I don't know. Okay,
that's the rub, guys. It's not actually American. It comes from other places. We stole the land.
That's America, homie. Everything that we have was just brought over from other places, and everything that was original was just from these people from their places.
Yeah. What's the famous food? What's the most famous food in Chicago?
The deep dish.
Yeah. Thank you for watching Incompetent Nerds.
Thank you for watching Incompetent Nerds, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for another episode. I'm your host, Tank, with D and Mark. Catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.